Hello, what lives in there, you're asking? Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about frustration, and you'll know what I mean when we get into the video. So here we go. Inside here is a load of metal stuff, and it's from Wunderlich. And what is it, you may ask? I know you're asking that. I've got to tell you, I'm doing the filming inside the shed today because it's a bit windy outside and the wind noise is terrible. But on the baby GS, I fitted this mounting on the above the TFT screen, so it raises the GPS into your eye line, whereas previously when it comes originally fitted to this thing down here, which I don't like, and a lot of people don't like them. So I fitted this bracket. I brought a torch so you can just see it in there. It's this bit here that the torch is touching on. It's that metal bracket that goes into the back of the GPS, and it's a substantial piece of metal. So imagine my surprise when I get it out on the road and the navigator itself vibrates like I don't know what. I mean, low speeds, high speeds, it's really difficult to find a speed where it won't vibrate really badly. So I looked on a few forums, the F850 GS forum, excuse me, which is very good. Loads of complaints on there about it, and so I looked for other replacements, and I found a company called Hornig, which is based in Germany, and they make a bracket for emergency vehicles, and basically it fits onto the back of this piece here, forms a little loop over the back, and it guarantees no vibration, which you'd expect if you're on an emergency vehicle. But for the money this cost from Wunderlich, I think it's about 89 quid. I think it's pretty poor that it vibrates as much as it does. Clearly they didn't do a very good road test on it, if they did one at all. They just, I know, we'll do this, and that'll be fine. So much so that that box I've just shown you, which is over there, has the improved version of this, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But basically what I've got to do first is take the screen off, and then I'll explain it. Okay, so where are we now? I've taken the screen off, as you can see. It moves easily, and the metal plate I'm talking about, which is connected to the GPS, is this big thing here I'm tapping, and you can see there's 4 bolts there that go into it, and effectively the GPS bracket fits on top of that. So what I'm going to do now is just remove the GPS and lay it down so I can expose it all for you. So the GPS has been removed, just lying down there now, and you can see the bracket that it's sat in, and underneath there's a little void. If I can just point that void out to you in there, that's where the new piece is going to sit, and it's going to sit on top of that piece of bracket under there that you can see that forms the front part of the bike where the TFT screen connects to and everything. It's a solid piece of kit, but I'm just going to try and slide this in underneath so I can show you where it goes. Okay, so I think if you can see that, that's the picture. That just sits down on top of there and gets screwed to the top of that. Now, as far as I can see, there's no difference in any of the screws that have come with the original set. So I'm going to be a bit cheeky and leave my original plate on this piece and just replace fit the bit underneath, the bracket underneath, and hopefully that'll be okay. You see on the top of the bracket there's a little bit of a rubber pad, and basically this is for sliding inside here. I'll put a torch on it in a minute, and it sits just behind the TFT screen and lines up there underneath the original bracket. There you go. Hopefully you'll be able to see it better now. Okay, so it just brings itself up, but you'll see it's a little bit, I would say that needs to be bent a little bit because there's a gap there, isn't there? So I might just do that before I start. Okay, so there it is fitted, the bracket. You can see underneath there, if I can just show you, you can see hopefully see just a little bit of the rubber that's sat on top of the bracket for the TFT screen. Okay, and I will say that I did have to bend this bracket here because even though it matches the original big thick bracket, this piece is the same. There was just a slight bend on it, so just a little tap with a hammer and there it was back in place. So all I need to do now is fit the GPS to it. Right, so there it is, GPS fixed back on. Get my torch again. Sorry for being so sparky with the torch, but Toby's not here. GPS is fixed back on, and I just as an aside, you'll notice that I have my GPS almost upright in the bracket, and the reason for that is, you know those sunscreens you can buy that don't work, and everyone goes, oh, you can't see your GPS. I found if you tilt your GPS more, almost vertical, you don't get sun glare off it anyway, and it doesn't cause you a problem. So just a little handy tip there. All I'm going to do now is fit the screen back onto the 4 points here, and then we're done, hopefully. There you go then, screen fitted, polished, nice and shiny, or a few grubby bits. GPS back on, all sorted. Brackets nice and snug. You can still adjust the screen. Doesn't affect it in any way, and that's pretty cool. It's a bit of a shame that Wunderlich didn't think this through in the first place, you know. Obviously it needed a bracket. A big substantial piece of metal like that, you'd have thought it would have been fine. Clearly it wasn't, but at least they've remedied it. It's still going to cost you money though if you've already got one, and I don't think you can buy the actual little bit they've added on. That's just that one little bracket piece. It'd be a shame if you got this bracket and you had to go and spend a load more money to go and buy the complete set again. All I've done is put the bit back on the knee. So anyway, there you go. Confusing video for some perhaps, because I'm rambling as usual. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, that's always good. There's alarm bells if you want to press them, so you'll know when there's a video comes in, and I'm sure Toby will sort it all out for me, because I have no idea what I'm doing normally. Anyway, keep safe fellas and ladies, see you soon.